So good afternoon to all. In today's class, we'll discuss about some more problems. After that, we go to FM generation techniques. So now done a next problem. An angle modulated signal. An angle modulated signal is described by S of t equal to 10 cos S of t equal to 10 cos 2 pi 10 power 60 2 pi 10 power 60 plus 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. 0.1 sine 10 cube pi t. So this is the signal, modulated signal. Find m of t. Find m of t, that is message signal. First one is considering s of t as a pulse modulated signal with kp equal to 10 and second bit is considering s of t as a frequency modulated signal with kf equal to 10. Frequency modulated signal with kf equal to 10 already he gives signal, that is modulated signal, both in case that is PM and FM. So for that already they give modulation index. So for in case of pulse modulation, kp is considered as 10, and in case of frequency modulation also kf is considered as 10. Now take the first case. For first case, it is, since it is a PM signal, pulse modulated signal, sorry, phase modulated, not pulse modulated, phase modulated signal. So therefore it is represented with the SPM of t, which is equal to, already you know fundamental representation for phase modulated signal. What is that? AC cos omega ct plus kp into m of t. So this is the phase modulated signal, AC cos omega ct plus kp into m of t. Now take the given signal. What is the given signal? 10 cos 2 pi 10 power 6 plus 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. 10 cos 2 pi 10 power 6 t, 6 t here, t plus 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. So since it is a message signal, in the first point he considered as a kp as a 10. So therefore kp is considered as 10 and into, consider the message signal. So that is 0.1 is split into 10 into 0.01. Since already he give kp as 10, so therefore already in problem he give it is a 0.1. So therefore to compare, already he give kp as 10, so therefore 10 into, what is the remaining parameter here? 0.01. This 0.1 is split into 10 into 0.01. 10 into 0.01. Remaining signal is same as it is. Since AC is 10 cos omega ct omega c. What is omega c value here? 2 pi into 10 power 6. So omega ct plus, in place of kp, in signal we have 0.1, but already he mentioned kp as 10. So therefore you split 0.1 as 10 into 0.01. 10 into 0.01. What is 0.01 here? Message signal amplitude. If kp is 10, then what is the remaining parameter? 0.01. This is the message signal amplitude. This is the message signal amplitude. Already you know Vm cos Vm sin omega mt. So therefore, now what is the message signal? So in place of message signal, we have m of t as 0.01 sine 10 power 3 pi t. 0.01 sine 10 power 3 pi t. So what is our aim? Our aim is calculation of m of t. If it is a phase modulated signal, and second case is frequency modulated signal. So in the first case, we got message signal as 0.01 sine 10 power 3 pi t. 0.01 sine 10 power 3 pi t. Now take the frequency modulated signal. Take the frequency modulated signal. What is the fundamental form for frequency modulated signal? So SFM of t. So that is frequency modulated signal is considered as AC cos omega ct plus kf integral of m of t dt. Already you know this formula. Already you know this form. This is a frequency modulated signal in terms of kf. In terms of kf. So AC cos omega ct plus kf integral of m of t dt. Kf integral of m of t dt. Now this signal is compared with our original signal. What is the signal given in problem? 10 cos 2 pi 10 power 6 t plus 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. So now take that signal. Take that signal. Now in place of kf integral of m of t dt, what we have? Kf integral of m of t dt, what we have? 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. So take that one. By comparing these two equations, that is original equation and the signal which is given in our problem. By comparing these two equations, in place of kf integral m of t, we have 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. So take that one, and from that you find m of t. You find m of t. So for that purpose, already you know m of t. What is m of t? M of t is am cos omega mt. So that is message signal. So for that purpose, put m of t is equal to am cos omega mt. Put m of t is equal to am cos omega mt. Now substitute at the place of m of t, am cos omega mt. Now the equation becomes kf integral am cos omega mt dt is equal to 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. 0.1 sine 10 power 3 pi t. After taking integration, it becomes a sine omega mt by omega m. It becomes a sine omega mt by omega m. Since am is a constant, it becomes kf am into sine omega mt by omega m. Now compare both left hand side and right hand side. Compare both left hand side and right hand side. So in place of kf am by omega m, we have 0.1. Kf am by omega m, we have 0.1. So in the previous case, we had directly take kpm of t. So therefore we got directly m of t. But in second case, we got kf integral of m of t. So for that purpose, here we have all those steps. So that is kf am by omega m is equal to 0.1 by comparing LHS and RHS. Now already he mentioned kf as 10. Already he mentioned kf as 10. Substitute 10 into am by, according to this, what you know, omega m is equal to 10 power 3 pi. So sin omega mt is equal to sin 10 power 3 pi t. So that's why in place of omega m, we have 10 power 3 pi. In place of omega m, we have 10 power 3 pi. So therefore, you substitute omega m as 10 power 3 pi. 10 power 3 pi. So from that you have am equal to 10 pi. Am equal to 10 pi. Here you note down in brackets, since omega m is equal to 10 power 3 pi. Omega m is equal to 10 power 3 pi. Now after getting am, what is our original message signal? Message signal is equal to am cos omega mt. Am cos omega mt. So therefore, in place of am, you substitute 10 pi cos omega m. What is omega m? 10 power 3 pi. 10 power 3 pi into t. This is our message signal. This is our message signal. So this is the way to find message signal when he give frequency modulated signal or phase modulated signal. So from the modulated signal, how we find the message signal? So this is the way. So now on the next problem. Given an angle modulated signal as s of t equal to 10 cos 2 pi into 10 power 8 t plus 200 cos 2 pi into 10 power 3t. Now what is its bandwidth? What is its bandwidth? Already you know, in case of narrowband FM, bandwidth is equal to 2 delta omega. 2 delta omega. If we write delta omega in terms of beta, already you know beta equal to delta omega by omega m. So from that delta omega, what is delta omega? Delta omega is equal to beta into omega m. Already you know modulation index is equal to frequency deviation by maximum frequency of message signal. So therefore beta equal to delta omega by omega m. So from that you write delta omega as beta into omega m. Beta into omega m. So that's why bandwidth in narrowband FM is considered as 2 into delta omega, or otherwise in terms of modulation index, it is considered as 2 into beta into omega m. Since delta omega is equal to beta into omega m. Beta into omega m. Already you know instantaneous frequency is equal to derivative of theta I. Instantaneous frequency omega is equal to derivative of theta I. So angle modulated signal is nothing but S of t is equal to 10 cos theta, 10 cos theta t. So that is in place of theta, what we have? 2 pi into 10 power 8 t plus 200 into cos 2 pi 10 power 3 t. So therefore you substitute in place of theta, 2 pi into 10 power 8 t plus 200 cos 2 pi 10 power 3 t. Now take derivation and find delta omega. Take derivation and find delta omega. So for 2 pi 10 power 8 t, it becomes 2 pi into 10 power 8 plus, by taking derivation, this parameter becomes 200, 200. For cos it is sine 2 pi 10 power 3 t into omega m. So therefore 2 pi into 10 power 3. 2 pi into 10 power 3. What is the fundamental form of instantaneous frequency? It is omega c plus delta omega into sine omega mt. What is fundamental form of instantaneous frequency? Omega is equal to omega c plus delta omega sine omega mt. Sine omega mt. Now if you compare these two equations, in place of omega c, we have 2 pi into 10 power 8. 2 pi into 10 power 8. And in place of delta omega, we have 200 into 2 pi into 10 power 3. Since this sine omega mt is same as in this sine omega mt, so therefore in place of delta omega, we have 200 into 2 pi into 10 power 3. So to calculate bandwidth, our requirement is delta omega. So from this instantaneous frequency, first of all, you calculate delta omega. So how we got delta omega? By taking the derivation of theta I. Already in signal we have theta, since he give the angle modulated signal. Therefore this parameter is considered as theta I. By taking the derivation, we got instantaneous frequency. So after taking derivation, if we compare with the original equation, so in place of delta omega, we have 200 into 2 pi into 10 power 3. So total it becomes 4 pi into 10 power 5. 4 pi into 10 power 5. Now, already you know delta omega. From this we calculate beta value, that is modulation index. Modulation index is equal to delta omega by omega m. Already you know that formula. Beta is equal to delta omega by omega m. So what is the omega m value? 2 pi into 10 power 3. In place of omega m, we have 2 pi into 10 power 3. So therefore, substitute both delta omega and omega m. We have a modulation index as 200. Now what is our aim? Calculation of bandwidth, both for narrow band and wide band. both for narrowband frequency modulation and wideband frequency modulation. So what is the bandwidth for wideband frequency modulation? In yesterday's class already I told you, according to Pearson's rule, we have a bandwidth as 2 delta omega into 1 plus 1 by beta. So this is the case for wideband frequency modulation. So this is the bandwidth in case of wideband frequency modulation. In previous class already we done the analysis. Bandwidth is equal to 2 delta omega into 1 plus 1 by beta. This rule is also called Pearson's rule. So now you substitute delta omega and beta. Otherwise you write in form of omega m. If you convert into form of omega m, it is 2 omega m into 1 plus beta. What is beta here? Beta is delta omega by omega m. Beta is delta omega by omega m. Now it becomes omega m by delta omega. Then if you convert into in the form of omega m, it becomes 2 omega m into 1 plus beta. 1 plus beta. Now you substitute omega m and beta, or otherwise directly here we have delta omega and beta also. You substitute that parameters also. So in that situation also we got bandwidth. What is the bandwidth? It is 402 kilohertz. It is 402 kilohertz. Already it is in the form of 2 pi into 10 power 3t. So therefore 2 pi into 10 power 3 is considered as it is. The extended parameter, that is 402, is only considered as a bandwidth. Here don't confuse. Already in signal we have 2 pi into 10 power 3. So therefore 2 pi into 10 power 3, it is solved in the form of 2 pi into 10 power 3. After that, the remaining parameter is considered as bandwidth. So that is 402 kilohertz. So coming to narrowband. Bandwidth is equal to 2 into delta omega, already you know. So already you know delta omega value, which is equal to 4 pi into 10 power 5. Just you substitute that value. We got 400 kilohertz. So this is the way to find bandwidth, both in case of narrowband and wideband. Next, note down another problem. Note down another problem. Find the bandwidth of a commercial FM transmission. Find the bandwidth of a commercial FM transmission if delta omega by delta F is considered as 75 kilohertz. If delta omega by delta F equal to 75 kilohertz and the modulating frequency FM is equal to 15 kilohertz. Not this by delta omega or delta F. Delta omega or F. This is not a ratio. You just consider it as delta F. That is frequency deviation. Frequency deviation. Since here he mentioned as FM, so therefore here he give as delta F. So delta F, delta omega or delta F. So therefore, what is the given parameters? Delta F is equal to 75 kilohertz and FM equal to 15 kilohertz. Note down the given parameters. Here also, what is our aim? Calculation of bandwidth. Calculation of bandwidth. So according to Carson's rule, what you know? 2 into the bandwidth is equal to 2 into delta omega plus omega m. If you common delta omega here, then it becomes 1 plus 1 by beta. Already this form also I told in class, previous class. So this is the Carson's rule in form of delta omega plus omega m. So bandwidth is equal to 2 into delta omega plus omega m. It can also be written off in terms of frequency 2 into delta F plus Fm. Two into delta F plus Fm. Since delta omega is equal to delta F, frequency deviation. So it is a message signal frequency. So therefore we considered omega m as Fm. So therefore here we have delta F and Fm value. Just you substitute that values. Just you substitute that values. How much you got? 180 kilohertz. 180 kilohertz. So bandwidth is equal to 180 kilohertz. Next, to find out the bandwidth of narrowband FM signal. Find out the bandwidth of narrowband FM signal. Which is generated by a 4 kilohertz audio signal. Which is generated by a 4 kilohertz audio signal. Modulating with 125 megahertz signal. Modulating with 125 megahertz signal. Now what are the given parameters? FM equal to 4 kilohertz. How you know FM? Since it is mentioned as a audio signal. So therefore, you take FM as 4 kilohertz. FM as 4 kilohertz. And modulating with a carrier signal which is 125 megahertz. Already you know bandwidth of narrow band frequency modulation is equal to 2 into omega m, which is equal to 2 into fm. Just you substitute, you have 8 kilohertz. You have 8 kilohertz. So these are the short answers. These two questions are short answers. Now coming to generation of FM. Put aside heading generation of FM. So very important topics. Generation and demodulation of FM signals. So the FM signal can be generated in two ways. That is, frequency modulation is done in two ways. One way is direct method and second way is indirect method. One way is direct method and second way is indirect method. Again, under direct method, here we have two types. One is reactance modulators and another one is varactor diode modulators. So in direct method, again, we have two types. One is reactance modulators and second one is varactor diode modulators. So mainly the FM is generated by two ways. One is direct method and indirect method. So indirect method is called Armstrong method. Under this method, we have Armstrong method. Under direct method, we have two techniques again. So one is reactance method and another one is varactor diode method. So now coming to the direct method, in this class we discuss about the direct method. So in direct method, generally here we use a voltage control oscillator. Voltage control oscillator. What is the FM modulated wave? Already you know this FM modulated signal. So for positive cycle, we send one frequency and for negative cycle, we send another frequency. For positive cycle, the message, the frequency of the sending signal is very high signal, very high frequency. And for negative cycle, we send a low frequency signal. So totally we send two frequency of signals. For positive cycles, we send one type of frequency and for negative cycles, we send another type of frequency. That is, for positive cycles, we send high frequency carrier signal and for negative cycles, we send low frequency carrier signal. Already you know what is FM? What is FM? The frequency of carrier signal is changes in accordance with the instantaneous frequency of modulating signal. Instantaneous frequency of modulating signal. So that's why here the amplitude of the carrier is constant. Here the amplitude of the carrier is constant, but only there is a change in frequency. And that frequency of carrier is mainly depends upon the instantaneous frequency of the message signal. So according to the instantaneous frequency of message signal, here the frequency of carrier is changes. For positive, we send one type of frequency, that is high frequency, and for negative, we send low frequency signals. So totally in our generation also, our aim is got two types of frequencies. Got two types of frequencies. That is high frequency and low frequency. So for that, in direct method, we use generally here is voltage control oscillator device. Voltage control oscillator device. So what is the purpose of voltage control oscillator? You know VCO. What is VCO? The name itself indicates it is an oscillator. So that is, it generates some frequency of signals according to the applied input voltage. According to the applied input voltage. Suppose for VCO, if we apply as a message signal, that is X of t. Here he mentioned as X of t, that is message signal. According to the message signal amplitude, the VCO generates some signal, some frequency of the signal. Some frequency of the signal. That is, the delivered signal frequency is mainly depends upon the amplitude of this X of t. Amplitude of this X of t. So totally VCO internally have tuned circuit. What is meant by tuned circuit? It is a parallel combination of inductor and capacitor. Already you know tuned circuit or tank circuit. So what is a tank circuit purpose? Already in ADC I think you study oscillator circuits, Hartley oscillator, Colpitts oscillator, like that. So in both, in that oscillators, you have tank circuit. Tank circuit is a combination of parallel combination of inductors and capacitors. So according to the values of inductor, and we generate frequency. Already you know the formulas in both Hartley oscillator and Colpitts oscillator. F equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of LC, like that. So the generated oscillator frequency must depends upon the values of the inductor and capacitor which are placed in the tank circuit. So totally in VCO, internally here we have some tank circuit which is a combination of inductor and capacitor. By changing the values of that inductor and capacitor, here we changes the generated signals frequency. How we change that inductor and capacitor values? According to the amplitude of this message signal. According to the amplitude of this message signal, we can change the inductor and capacitor of the tank circuit value. By changing that reactance parameters values, automatically here we change the generated signal frequency. So totally the VCO internally consists of a tank circuit which is a combination of parallel combination of inductor and capacitor. By changing that capacitor and inductor values, here we change the generated signal frequency. How we change that inductor and capacitor reactive parameters? According to this x of t. According to this x of t. So this is the main principle which is used in the direct method. So in direct method, generally here the main block as a VCO, that is voltage control oscillator. What is meant by VCO? It generates some signals which have the frequency, and that frequency is generated depending upon the values inside used in the tank circuit, that is inductor and capacitor. By changing that values, automatically the signal generated, the signal's frequency is changes. How we change that parameter values? Depending upon the message signal amplitude. So totally this is controlled by the x of t. Controlled by the x of t. Now coming to totally here we have two types of signals, two types of direct methods. One is reactance method. Reactance method. In the reactance method, just we put a tank circuit in parallel with a variable reactance device. Variable reactance device. And another method is by putting varactor diode. By putting varactor diode. Already I told you the second one is varactor diode. That is very, very important for generation of FM. So for that here, this is the signal, this is the circuit. Here we place a varactor diode. Already I think you know the operation of varactor diode. What is the another name for varactor diode? It is a varicap diode. Varicap diode. So that is voltage variable capacitance. In accordance with the applied input voltage, the capacitance value is changes. In case of varactor diode, in accordance with the applied input voltage, the capacitance value of this diode is changes. So that's why this is the symbol for varactor diode. It is just like a normal PN junction diode, but in place of cathode, here we have a capacitance. Here we have a capacitance. That is the symbol representation for varactor diode. So varactor diode is operated in reverse bias. Varactor diode is operated in reverse bias. So that is, here the capacitance value is changes in accordance with the applied input voltage. In accordance with the applied input voltage. So already I told you, this is a VCO, that is internally it have a tuned circuit, that is a combination of capacitor and inductors. Here we have two inductors, that is L1 and L2, and in parallel with the capacitance C. So totally this L1, L2 and C combination is considered as a tank circuit. By changing these values, that is L1, L2 and C value, here the instantaneous frequency changes. Instantaneous frequency of the message signal is changes. So how we connect this varactor diode? This varactor diode is connected in parallel with the tank circuit. So now what is the formula for instantaneous frequency? Fi equal to 1 by 2 pi root of, what is the combination of L1 and L2? L1 plus L2, and combination of parallel capacitance. C, suppose this capacitance is considered as C dash. It is considered as C plus C dash since it is a parallel combination. We directly considered as C plus C dash. Since these are two series inductors, therefore we consider it as L1 plus L2. Now what is the frequency? Delivered frequency of the signal? Fi equal to 1 by 2 pi root of Lc. So in place of L, we have two combinations, L1 plus L2. Similarly, in place of C, we have two parallel capacitors combination, that is C and C dash. So therefore, we could directly consider as C plus C dash. C plus C dash. What is the C dash? Varactor diode capacitance. Varactor diode capacitance. How is this capacitance is changes? That is, by changing these values, automatically the frequencies varies. How is this capacitance is varies? This capacitance is varies in accordance with the input voltage, applied input voltage. Here, which signal here we applied? X of t. That is our message signal. So totally in accordance with the modulating signal, that is message signal, the capacitance C dash value is varies. By changing this C dash value, automatically the instantaneous frequency is varies. The instantaneous frequency is varies. Already you know C dash. The generated capacitance C dash is equal to, what is the capacitance formula? Epsilon naught A by omega naught RD. What is epsilon naught? Permeability, and A is the area between the plates, and omega naught or D. What is the D? Distance between the plates. Width or distance between the plates. So according to this, what you know? Capacitance value is directly proportional to width of the distance between plates. Not, inversely proportional to width of the plates. Width of the plates. When the width of the plates is changed, this width of the plates is changed in accordance with the applied input voltage. If the diode becomes a forward bias, then in that situation, the width becomes less. Already you know, in a PN junction diode operation, whenever the diode becomes forward bias, automatically the width of the junction becomes less. Similarly, for the forward bias varactor diode, here the distance between the plates is reduced. When the distance between the plates is reduced, automatically the capacitance is increases, since both are inversely proportional parameters. Suppose for reverse bias varactor diode, automatically the distance between the plates is increases. Then in that situation, the capacitance is reduced. So coming to the operation during the positive half cycle. So already you know, for this circuit, what is the input voltage? Message signal. So for message signal, we have positive cycle and negative cycle. While coming to the positive cycle, what is the diode becomes? Diode becomes reverse bias. So since positive is connected to cathode and negative is connected to anode, so therefore in that situation, it becomes reverse bias. So for positive half cycle, the diode becomes reverse bias. So in the material, it is in reverse. Note down that point. Here the operation is in reverse way. So don't follow this step in material. So during positive half cycle, the diode becomes reverse bias, not forward bias here. So whenever the diode becomes reverse bias, automatically the width becomes increases. Width means distance between the plates increases. Whenever the width increases, automatically C dash value reduces. Whenever C dash value reduces, so that is in the denominator, this parameter is reduces. Automatically the Fi becomes increases. So during the positive half cycle of the modulating signal, we got the increased frequency. So if you observe the waveform, So for positive half cycle, here we got the high frequency signal. So while next cycle is negative cycle, by coming to the negative cycle, then the diode becomes forward bias. Then the diode becomes forward bias. That is, negative is connected to cathode and positive is connected to anode. So totally diode becomes forward bias. So whenever the diode becomes forward bias, automatically C dash, what about the width? Width becomes reduced. Whenever the diode becomes forward bias, width becomes reduced. When W becomes reduced, automatically capacitance C dash is increases. So when C dash increases, automatically Fi is decreases. Fi is decreases. So for negative cycle, in that situation, we got a low frequency signal. Low frequency signal. So in this way, by using of varactor diode, we can generate the FM signal. So here the main component used is varactor diode. According to the value of capacitance, we can change the frequency, instantaneous frequency. So therefore we got the FM wave. So this is called a direct method. So in tomorrow's class we go through indirect method. So in the indirect method we have Armstrong method. So we discuss about that Armstrong method. That is very, very important topic. So totally FM generation and demodulation techniques, both topics are very, very important topics in exam point of view.